All right, so quick video on tomatoes, making tomato sauce. I started making this at 7 in the morning, and right now it is almost 7 o'clock at night. So this is 12-hour, for me, a 12-hour recipe. And I use Roma tomatoes. I still have a few here, but this compost bin right here, that's why people don't compost, it's so disgusting. But that's full of the tops. So basically what I do is I get the Roma tomatoes and I cut the top off. And then you just plop it in. I'm only doing one. And then, you know what, you can either, if you don't mind, you just leave the skins on. Okay? But right now, so I skinned every tomato by doing it this way. So you put it in the hot water, in the hot soup, and that skin will peel off there in a minute. But what I want to do this video is to show you, when you're making tomatoes like this, tomatoes are pretty acidic. And you can really taste that acid. Also, if you look, I don't know if you can really see you can't really see, but if you look at the top of my pan, there's all this tomato paste, basically tomato paste. I don't want that. So the easiest way to do it, there's two ways. One, put more tomatoes in there, but I mean, I got enough. Plus, I'm out. I drained my garden. This is about 80 to 100 Roma tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add baking soda. Now, you don't want to put so much in that it changes the flavor, but enough in that it's going to dilute some of the acid, so we're going to put that in. And now you just stir. So that was about maybe a teaspoon. And now you just kind of mix it in. And what this does is this takes out the helps to dilute some of the acid. But what it'll also do is it expands the pan. And that'll help to get the paste off the side of my pan. So that's a double bonus. Get rid of some of the acid out of your tomatoes. Especially when you have this many tomatoes, because the water drains off. Like when you cook tomatoes like this, the water will keep evaporating, making a more condensed tomato sauce. But the acid accumulates because it does not burn off. So this, to me, you have to do this. All right. It also increases the, and you can see now I'm starting to get the tomato paste off the top of my pan. I know this pan's about, I think this pan is about 70 years old. I'm going to put a little more, because I know there's tons of acid in this pan. I mean, you want to keep some, but you want to dilute some. Plus, if you put too much baking soda in, you will change the flavor of your tomato sauce. This won't. What I just added will just make it a more mild, less acidic tomato sauce. You can actually see the red. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but if you look on the top of the phone, you can see those little red pieces. It's making it much more chunky. Oh yeah, now I can start getting the tomato paste off the top of the pan. Right, because that tomato paste raised the level. So this is basically done. This is the last step. So in this tomato recipe and tomato sauce is a little bit of celery, celery seed, anise seed, salt, of course. I don't add the salt till after the tomatoes have gotten a good, until they got a good start. Now I do have to cook this until the foam goes away. So basically I'm doing this, and then I'm going to cool it, and I don't really have room in the freezer. That's just a fact. So I'm just right now taking the cleaning the top of my pan, because there is so much good flavor right up here. Because it's been cooking all day, it's layered on there. And that's going to help flavor. And what am I going to do with this? So there's a bunch of stuff you can do with a recipe like this. Just want to make sure all my baking soda gets whatever's going to go is going to go. Yeah, that's enough baking powder. Now, how's that tomato doing that I put in there in the first place? Remember that tomato I dumped in there? So the skin's ready to come off of this. It's hard for me to do this through the camera. It's right there. So I could either peel that skin off. Right now, it's just so easy to do, but I can't do it. I need 2 hands for that. That skin's ready to come off. It's hard to do. It's really hard to do because right now I'm one-handed, right? I'm trying to peel the skin off with the spoon. So when the skin does come off, it'll come right to the top. And then you just take it off. You know, hopefully you don't get a 3rd-degree burn doing it. Still waiting for those foamed, for the baking soda to finish its job. Okay, so the skin's off. Now I just gotta find it. There it is. That's most of the skin from that tomato. I mean, the skin really doesn't bother me. It's some fiber, but it's a little chewy. So, put it in the sink. I know there's a little more skin on there. There we go. It's hard to do this with the video camera. So this tomato has almost lost its skin. Still some more. Jeez, it's so hard to do this with the camera. I want to show you. So what I could do now is try and pull the skin off without burning myself. Use the knife. Here we go. The easiest way to skin a tomato, though, to be honest, is to put it in the freezer. You cut the ends off like I just did, right? And then just put it in the freezer. And then when you take it out, you put it under water, cold water or hot water. And if you put the tomatoes in whole, you get the skins off whole too. Jeez, almost had that. One-handed skinner. And then I just put it in the sink to depart with later. Okay, and now the foam's almost done. Right now my burner is on about half because we're doing the last touches. And if you look, I don't know if you can see that, but all the tomato paste in the top of my pan is gone because of all that foam. It lets out so much steam that it pretty much cleans your pan. This is I'm actually starting to clean my pan. So what am I going to use this for? Chili sauce, if I wanted to. I probably won't. Spaghetti sauce, chili is my next thing I'm making is chili. So half of this actually will probably be for my chili that I'm going to make maybe tomorrow. I'm getting ready for going back to work. Still got some bubbles, but that's it. No more baking soda. And I could just give it a shot here. Just to give it a little taste. See if it needs salt. No, that's good. That's good. It does need salt though. But I actually tasted a little bit of baking soda, so that means it's not done. So the acid's, I'd say 50%. I could put more baking soda in there and it would take out more acid, but it would also change the flavor. I don't want to taste baking soda. So this probably has to cook for another, half an hour maybe? To make sure that all the baking soda gets transformed. This is going to be good. And I don't know how much celery seeds in this recipe. Teaspoon. Anise seed. Teaspoon. No pepper. I didn't put any pepper in here. And the reason why is I want to see when... if the pan's too hot, if you want to set the pan at the right temperature, and if you put pepper in it, you see those black spots of the pepper? You don't know if you're burning your tomatoes or if it's the pepper. So by not putting pepper in, any black spots I see, I know is the pan's too hot. If that makes sense. And that tomato is just fine. I could probably put, if I wanted to right now, this pot was completely full to the top. I let it simmer down, I'd say 6 hours later, it got to about here. I added another 25 tomatoes. So like I say, this is about 80 to 100 tomatoes. Pretty good sized tomatoes, like this, baby. Like that. So there's like 100 of these in there. It's a lot of tomatoes. Probably end up putting this in the freezer tonight. Some of it, half of it, because some of it's going to go into a chili I'm going to make tomorrow. Maybe I'll do a little short video showing that. This is just tomatoes. Tons of tomatoes. And there's the last of the skin off that tomato right there. The last of the skin is right there. So this is how I've been skinning my tomatoes. It's a little well, it's I'd say it's harder. It's easier to just freeze the tomatoes and then you skin them that way. You freeze the tomatoes. When the tomatoes are solid, you just run them under water and the skins pop right off. And then you add them to your recipe. Into the pot. But the skins won't hurt you, so I don't mind if there's a couple of skins in here. It doesn't bother me, but there isn't. Alright, so all the baking soda has been used up, and that's all I need. Let me taste it again, because I added some salt. I want to know what I got. That's perfect. That's perfect. That's got this a little bit of sweetness with no sugar added, right? The tomatoes are sweet. Aromas are awesome to do this. Right. So that one tomato there that I'm just gonna crush it. Yeah, your mashed potato, your potato masher is a perfect tool for this. And now that tomato is done. Okay, so this is ready. So we're going to turn this down a lot, not completely off. I still wouldn't mind losing a little bit of the liquid, but now that I got all this stuff off the top, most of it, I know this pot's got to be 60 years old. I wonder how much metal is leaching out into my tomato sauce. Not that it matters to me. But I recommend using a stainless steel pan for this, but they're expensive. This is free. And you know what? I never heard of metal poisoning when they used to use these old pots, so I'm not too worried about it. Yeah, I've been using this pot for 25 years. And I'm still alive, so. Alright, let's call that done. And that's tomato sauce ready for chili, spaghetti, salsa, just a little bit of green pepper I have in the garden. I could make a salsa right now if I wanted to. I don't have any, what is it, cilantro, I think is the ingredient. So onions, green pepper, and cilantro, a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, and you get a nice salsa. All right, have a good night. That was a long video for this.